like I'm praying, but I'm saying, like I'm saying the words to be able to check these boxes, to be able to feel good about the fact
Yeah.
that I today have prayed. Uh, you know, and so I think that we don't realize it a lot of times that you know what I'm saying, like we end up maybe not being not being far from God, but maybe being turned in the wrong direction in terms
Hmm.
of where our heart is.
Sure.
Um, so was there a specific crisis or loss or an encounter that changed everything for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few seasons that I can't even go into fully, but there's been some times where you're literally on the edge and you have to look and say, you know what, either I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna give it all up. And again, my governing factor is eternity. If I didn't have an eternity consciousness, I remember being in the church service and my pastor told the church, he said, Isaiah don't have to serve God. He don't have to be here. What a strange thing to say. He says he's been free enough that he could say, forget church people, I'm not doing this. So I've had some moments where I really could have turned back. But once again, I want to reiterate, I don't mix God with people. You know, you got church hurt. I've had it. I've been hurt in the church, terribly hurt. And I've hurt people in the church because we don't talk about that part. We talk about church
Mm,
hurt, but we don't talk about how we hurt the people.
mm,
I've had church hurt and I've been hurt, but the difference is I'm not going to confuse God with man. People change, but he doesn't. I won't use my pain as an excuse to abort my purpose by the grace of God. So yeah, I've had times I've said, "Oh man, you know, I could just throw in the towel," but throw in the towel and do what? Where am I going to do? What am I going to do? Go back and smoke crack? Am I going to do go back in the club and turn up? Am I going to do go back and get seven more devils? What am I going to do? Go back and let Satan take me and tear my life to pieces because God used me to get people out of hell? What am I going to do? Go and become. I want to talk to someone today. Don't do it. When you go back, you become an open target because the devil sees your potential. And so I've had moments where I could have been like, "Oh man, I can't," and I'm like, "No, no, no, you can't afford not to." Listen, there's a place you reach in God, yeah, where you know if you go back, just yeah, I think I'll pass that line for real.
yeah. So just in terms of like your relationship with the Lord, like what is one thing that God taught you in secret before he used you publicly?
Humility. Now, you know when we talk about humility, because you know a lot of people in church think that humility means being quiet. Oh, she's so humble, or he's so humble, and if you're if you're a bit eccentric or you're quite vibrant, they say, "Oh, you're a show off, and you know you're too much." And you know you in the flesh, you know, because you know you're not humble. Never mind the preacher preaches and tears the church up and beats the pulpit and rocks back and forth, and we don't see that as being too much. We like that, don't we? That's good. That's it. That's engaging. But you got energy and you got bravado, and you say stuff with your chest, and they say humility and pride was never a state of behavior; it's a state of mind. The Lord
Mm,
said to me in 1998, He said, Isaiah, He said, study humility and study pride. He said, because if you don't, he said, pride will destroy your ministry. I got my Bible. I got this generation don't know about this. I got my concordance. You got AI now. You don't need that book with all the Greeks and Strong's numbers to find every Bible verse. You just go to Google and type it in. You guys don't know about that. I got the concordance. I knew you'd laugh. I got my concordance. You know, you was a Holy Ghost G if you had a concordance,
For
right?
sure.
I went and looked for every verse on pride, every verse on humility, and I began to write them out. I literally wrote them. That's another thing. We used to write stuff out then. Yeah, we didn't copy and paste.
That's
I, I, I wrote those verses out and I was reading them and I studied and I meditated and I reflected and I understood that humility is a state of mind. It means to put yourself under when you can be higher. Pride is having an exaggerated opinion of yourself. You're a 7, but you think you're a 10. You're a
mm,
5, but you think you're an 8. And you walk in and giving 8 energy, but you know, you're at level 5. You can lift 9K and you tell the world you can lift 15 and
mm,
exaggerated. And the Lord showed me, said, if you don't get rid of that opinion, if you don't get rid of that concerning ministry,
mm.
it's going to wreck your ministry.
Jesus.
I fasted, I prayed, and I just kept that awareness. And also for me, this was very important when the Lord began to show me that I began to study the humility of Jesus. And one thing you saw about Jesus, Jesus was always among the people. You're in a dangerous place when you're a minister and you can't be around people. Let me just tell you. Listen, you are anointed because of people. Oh, this is the man of God. We're so honored to have him. No, you're honored to have an audience. Because in a restaurant, a waiter has no job without customers. You are serving the food of life. Without the people, you don't have a job.
Bars.
And so the Lord taught me very carefully, you don't have a ministry if you don't serve and love the people. So you have to break this culture of that you're the man of God and you glide into the sanctuary late on purpose. You don't worship. You don't have anything to do with it. And you glide in. You come in, you preach, and then you walk back out. Jesus was among the people, and God taught me, never lose that connection with people, because ministry is to serve people. That was a major ministry life lesson for me, and I never lost it. I don't care where I go, I'm gonna be amongst the people. I've been to places and they're fighting to pull in the green room. I'm not going in the green room yet. I'm here for the people. That is a young prophet in the making. He wants to say hi. That's a young pastor. That's someone with depression that wants to hear a word of encouragement. Am I here just to preach and be pulled in a room and be on the screen? No, 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 no. Jesus, that's why the woman with the issue of blood could touch him. People touch you. Can the congregation touch you? Because if they can't, you're not fulfilling the job description.
Jesus.
We are servants of men. And so God taught me that, Isaiah, please do not become a celebrity. And there's people that want you to be a celebrity. Someone said, Isaiah, you're good looking and you're fashionable. We can make you do this. You just calm down. I said, calm down what? Calm down for what? You can be the next what? God has made me this way, and he's made me this way to impact people authentically. Get rid of the pride and just be chill. So I learned that. Another thing I learned as well that's really, really important. Don't go up there and say it if you don't mean it. Don't become a circus clown. Don't make ministry make you into a clown. Don't become a spiritual entertainer. Let that thing sit on the inside of you. Let that thing rest. Like, read it, understand it, and sit with it for a while. Don't just, okay, I'm invited to a conference, this is the theme, and actually sit with it. And in the UK, we'll say deep it. Deep it. Just kind of sit with it for a while. Because the seed today is the tree 2 years later. Sometimes you got that thing, but you didn't sit with it, so you didn't really get the essence of what it was. Just take time. Don't be in a rush, and don't be so determined to be the next great. Just sit with God, man. Samuel sat with God. He heard the voice, but he needed to hear. But Samuel sat. That by the time his ministry was established, they said that not one of Samuel's word as a prophet fell to the ground because he sat with God. A lot of us stand with God, but we don't sit. Yeah, you stand in the pulpit, but you don't sit, man. Sometimes you have to learn how to just sit and just take time so God can form that thing in you.